Hey Leon, what up though?
Yeah, yo, 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 you know the game been told. If I was you, then my soul would have been sold. Watch what you do, cause it's coming back tenfold. Either way it goes, man, I'm 10 toes, 10 toes, 10 toes. You know the game been told. If I was you, then my soul would have been sold. Watch what you do, cause it's coming back tenfold. Either way it goes, man, I'm 10 toes. Hey yo, the game got me mortified, so I focus on being fortified. Twisted shit encrypted and codified. Products of a simulation.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ashton Pemberton, and we're here today with Gabriel Chacon to talk about the things that are going on in Venezuela. This is Beyond the Divide, where Black political thought meets the past and present. Gabriel, thank you so much for being here today.
I appreciate that. Thank you for having me here. Very excited to, have a great conversation.
Absolutely. So we really appreciate your willingness to be on the show and talk about this. Can you tell us more about some of your lived experiences with this topic?
The first thing I gotta say is that I was born and raised in Venezuela. I moved to the U.S. when I was 17, and I saw with my eyes, the whole situation, what was happening there. My dad was opposition leader, persecuted by the dictatorship of Maduro regime, and I saw that with my own eyes. Yeah, it wasn't something that someone else told me, or I saw on the news, or was in social media. I saw it with my eyes.
Absolutely. And so, for someone who might not know anything about politics or foreign affairs, would you give a summary of what Trump has done and what this might mean?
Yeah. The first thing I gotta say is that Maduro being in power for 14 years, he wasn't recognized as a president by around 50, 60 countries. They don't recognize him as a president because he did the last 10 years. He did two elections, and it was unfair elections. He was also a person who put innocent people in jail, persecuted opposition leaders, especially young people with new ideas, and every time he see like a stronger opposition leader, he used the Supreme Court. He manipulated because he controlled all the branches in Venezuela. It's like, for example, it's like imagine the president of the U.S. controlling the Congress, having most of their people in Congress, having also the Supreme Court control and have the executive branch. So he controls everything in Venezuela, military, police, obviously, and he got a lot of support from Russia and China. So he been stronger from 14 years until now, and he is accused. Answering your question, he's accused by drug trafficking. He's accused by sending drugs to the U.S. So that's a U.S. issue. For that reason, is why President Trump and Trump administration lead this operation in Venezuela that, in my opinion, was really successful because my family lives in the capital. My family lives in Caracas. My grandpa lives there, and their houses are okay. They're fine. No innocent people die. People who die in this operation were military people who protect them, and most of them were Cubans. They don't even were Venezuelan. They were Cubans. 35 Cubans died in this operation. 40 Venezuelans. They all were military, Maduro security, and now he's gonna face the justice after 14 years in power, doing whatever he wanted to do, and now he's gonna face a judge and in the next 2 months.
Absolutely. Okay. So thank you for that context. I'm curious, what does the United States have to gain from doing this?
Yeah, U.S. and Venezuela before Maduro and before all this, situation, they used to have good relationships. We used to have Venezuela used to have the oil companies there producing oil, Chevron, ExxonMobil, and different companies there. and that's actually helps the U.S. Economy, because producing Venezuela is cheap. Producing Venezuela, it has a lower cost compared to producing other countries, especially here in Texas and other states in the U.S. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's gonna have a lot of benefits from U.S. economy, and it's also gonna have benefit for us, for Venezuelans, because more people is gonna get hired over there. The employment is gonna increase, and I see like, well, in this situation, after a transition, after we can choose a new government, both countries are gonna have benefits, and I think that's the whole point. Both countries are gonna have benefits. So you're gonna see a lot of changes on the gas prices, on the food prices, on any type of supply, because how Walmart, how Home Depot get their supplies. They transport their supplies through the 18 wheelers, right? To the big trucks, right? How those truck works with gas. If they using if they pay lower gas, that means that the product is gonna be cheap in the market. So it's actually gonna have a good benefit for the U.S. economy.
Oh, got it. So I wanna sort of go off that question and talk about what are some of the real pros and cons for
Okay.
U.S. citizens, Venezuelans. What are some of the moral and ethical implications that come with that takeover? So you talk about some of the pros.
Okay, the pros. Yeah, I think I told you the pros already,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, the cons that I see is that it's never gonna look good, like a powerful country getting in a different territory, in a territory that is smaller and it's not that powerful. It's never gonna look good. Like, that's never gonna look good, and that's probably one of the cons. Well, in long term, I see a lot of benefits as Venezuelan, and as a person who been living here for 8 years. I'm sorry. I love the U.S. as I love Venezuela, so I see like both countries are gonna have a lot of benefits. But the only cons I see is that a stronger, powerful territory getting in a smaller and not that powerful territory is always gonna have a lot of controversy.
Absolutely. And how would you assess the Trump administration's actual approach to Venezuela, and as it relates to the takeover?
I think Trump's administration made a home run. Like, talking about baseball,
Right, yeah,
they
absolutely,
made a
absolutely.
grand slam because Trump were talking about Venezuela the last 3 months. He sent the 25 Marines of the Marine power to Venezuelan oceans, and I think it was a really successful operation. I'm gonna be honest, because not innocent people died. It wasn't like bombing, it wasn't like killing innocent people that was walking around their houses. It was a really like a specific operation. They got the dictator in 2 hours, and they take him to New York, and now he's gonna face the justice.
Got it. So it was a super quick operation.
It was a super quick operation. Yeah,
and that creates less space for innocent people to get hurt.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
things of that nature.
And now they negotiated now, because according to the Venezuelan constitution, when the president is not in power, the vice president soon as a president. So now the lady who is in power, I don't like her, I don't support her, because she exactly like Maduro. She's now having conversation with President Trump, and looks like we're gonna have elections soon, probably in 3 months. And now Venezuela has the opportunity to choose a new government and fix our country and rebuild our country that was destroyed for dictatorship in the last 14 years.
Well, so sort of going off of that point.
Okay.
What are some of the reasons that and that might be one of the actual reasons, but what are some reasons that whether it's people in America or people in Venezuela might be apprehensive about the takeover, and not even if it's not Maduro being gone, the implications of Maduro being gone and what happens after?
I don't call this operation as a takeover because he's accused of drug trafficking. So they just capture him. It was like the U.S. took the whole territory. They just captured this person who was sending drugs here,
Right.
who was, he was a drug trafficking, and now he's gonna face the American justice. Does that make sense?
I see.
So I don't see this as a takeover because the government is still there. They're still controlling the Congress, the Supreme Court, and everything. So, and some people are saying like, oh, Venezuela is gonna become the 51st, the 51 state in the U.S. I don't think that will happen. We're gonna still be a country.
So, Gabriel, I want to do something real quick.
Okay.
I want to go off script just a little bit because you make an interesting point, and I want to go back to it. What would be your suggestion, and what would you want to see happen with Venezuela's government moving forward? Because you did say you're not a fan of
the vice president.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. So where do you want to see the government go? Venezuela. What's your operations look like? What do you see the future, an ideal future for Venezuelans looking like?
I believe that now, U.S. and Venezuela are going to have good relationships, and we're going to share ideas, we're going to share, businesses and all that. And I believe that the U.S. is going to help in the next 3 months to have new elections. That is going to be fair elections. Because when Maduro was in power, the election that we had wasn't fair. Some of the opposition leaders couldn't participate because he didn't want them to participate because he knew that they were gonna beat them for a lot of percentage. And now we have the opportunity to have fair elections, and that's how it looks. So just having good relationship with the U.S.
And so with the vice president, even though you're not a fan of her, you feel like she will not create difficulties for opposition to campaign against her.
That's why we need the U.S. there.
I see.
That's why we need, the Trump's administration there. So they're gonna, make sure that we're gonna have a clear process. Gonna have a fair process. So everybody can register for vote. Everybody who wanna be a candidate can register for run. And even Maduro's party, if some of them if the vice president want to participate in the new election, she can participate. So all the politics, all the politicians can participate in the election, and that's how I see the next 3 months.
What do you think the vice president's chances are of being elected?
She don't got no chances. She doesn't have no chances, because I can tell you this. Last year we had election.
Okay.
And the Nobel Prize, Maria Corina Machado,
Yeah.
She wanted to run. And the Supreme Court just they just made a case. And she was accusing about some financial issues related with because she used to be in Congress. So they just made a case and about her. So for that reason she couldn't participate in the election. So she said, like, okay, I can't participate. Okay, one of my best friends is going to participate in my name. And the government was like, no, she can't participate, man. So they used Edmundo Gonzalez as wrong to for this election. And then what happened was we had elections there and everything. And then the opposition party has proved that they won the election by 70%. Because the elections in Venezuela, you vote, it's like the U.S. election. You vote in the machine. In that machine, when they close the how you call the voting schools, they print the results, right?
Yeah.
The machine print you how much percent each candidate has.
Right.
So they have the opposition party has those proof that they won the election for more than 70%. And you can see online because they post it online in a website outside of Venezuela, so obviously Maduro government can just get rid of that. So opposition party has the proof that they won the election a year ago by 70%, but Maduro regime said like, no, we won the election by 1%. So the numbers are right there. It's like you can see it, and you also can talk to like people in Venezuela. They can't really talk too much because they're scared that they're gonna persecute them. They're gonna put them in jail. So all the everything that they post on social media is people that support them. If you see those videos, people in Venezuela, like, telling President Trump to, please, send back our president here. That's what they want to show. They don't show that people who disagree with their government. And that's everything they show. Because people in Venezuela can really talk. There's no freedom of speech there. Like, there's not. Every time I got my family in social media, and every time I ask them something related with politics, they don't answer. They don't say nothing because they check everything. Yeah.
Let me ask you something going off that. Since the whole Maduro situation, have you seen more freedom of expression on social media, or is it still, tight-locked?
Still, because people being like that for 14 years, so people don't know what to. Oh yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. So people still waiting for, what is gonna happen.
What do you think it would take for people to feel safe enough to express whatever political thought they might have, on social media, and have that aura of freedom of speech in Venezuela?
I feel we're a new government. We the vice president has to, according to the constitution, she got 30 days. According to the constitution, Venezuelan constitution, if the president is not in power, definitely because he passed away or something, she got 30 days to call elections. But she can extend it to 90 days. He's not absolutely out of power. So she got around 90 days to call elections. So when she call elections, when we going through a new process, that's what the people is gonna feel free, like completely free to express themselves.
What do you think her tactics are going to be outside of just extending it 90 days?
The vice president?
Yeah.
She's trying to negotiate with Trump. She's trying to get everything what Trump is asking, and she's trying to to stay in power like that. Because she knows that United States is so powerful, and they're still there in the ocean, and they can just do a second attack if she don't follow what Trump is asking. So I feel that that's what she's trying to do. Because politics is all negotiation. So that's the definition of politics, right? The art of negotiating, right? So everything's about negotiating here. So we know she's trying, but I don't feel like Trump administration want to work with them. They want to work right now because it's how it works. Like in this building, you can just you cannot just keep all the people here. So who knows who has the key of the restaurant? Who knows who fixed this? You can just. It's a process. Right. You gotta substitute them day by day.
Day by day, right?
Because if you keep everybody from this building, how you gonna know who has the key of the bathroom? Who's fixed the electricity? Who does this?
Right.
You can do that. It's a process.
That's
what they call a transition.
Got it. Okay. So, what is one big thing that you would want someone to take away from this interview? One big thing that you would want someone to take away from this interview?
I want people to because I'm not taking sides. I'm not saying I'm Democrat, I'm Republican. No. Even I want you to see the whole picture. I want you to see the whole situation. And don't take sides because your political thoughts. Right. Like, we were in a dictatorship. Maduro is not a cool person. He's not a nice person. I know he always smiling and saying good morning and Happy New Year. Have you seen that? And working the Nike tag and all that. Like, he looks like a cool dude, but he's not a cool dude. He was a terrible person, and he has to be in jail. Now he's gonna face the justice. I want people to see the whole picture. Like, even if you're a Democrat, even if you're a Republican, this is a good thing for the U.S. and a great thing for Venezuela. Because now we got freedom. We didn't have freedom for 14 years. Now we have the possibility to have freedom. And there's nothing better than freedom. Like, oil resources, okay, that's fine. But freedom? Like, what's the point to have a lot of oil reserves and a lot of resources if we don't have freedom? That makes sense?
Yeah, That makes all the sense. I can't think of a better way to end with that. Gabriel Chacon, thank you so much.
Venezuela is a beautiful country. You should visit Venezuela. We got wonderful beaches. We got the biggest waterfall. So I want to, I wanted to encourage the tourism in Venezuela after all this transition.
Oh, God. Awesome. Look, thank you so much for taking the time.
Having me here. We had a great conversation.
This has been Beyond the Divide, you all. Take care.
Yo, you know the game been told. If I was you, then my soul would have been sold. Watch what you do, cause it's coming.